We're live? Yes. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Money GPS Live. We already got people in the house. Thank you all for being here. I'm setting up everything on my end. Get everybody going. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. TikTok's going. Instagram's going. Good stuff. Okay. All right. Should be good. Good to go. Thank you all for being here today. We are going to talk about the Federal Reserve. As I have right behind me, I'm live at the Federal Reserve. Yes. But I just wanted to talk about the Fed. I also want to talk about self-sufficiency. I think this is one big issue that a lot of people are missing. Okay? So as you're coming in, don't forget to hit that like button somewhere in this region here. Somewhere about there. Hit that like button to support the channel. You're telling other people just that this is something cool. So I appreciate that. Thank you all for being here. I'm looking at your comments. All right. The Fed chairman, yeah. All right. Good stuff. Hello. Thank you. Yes, the Fed will buy up many assets and will attempt to keep asset prices propped up by inflation. This is the big question. That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the Federal Reserve in the next crisis. What will they do? TikTok, how are you? Welcome to the show. How are you? Doing well. Of course, the Fed will say they will. No, it won't. Will the IMF hold digital assets in the future? Well, technically, with the IMF SDR, they already have their own. It's already being actively used. As I showed you just recently on the channel, Australia, the central bank was given SDRs just recently. And it's so strange to me that the IMF, who gets your tax dollars all around the world, no matter where you are, I'm sure you're probably getting some money you're giving some money to the IMF, and then they give it back out. Like, what is the purpose of that? How strange is this? We're going to give $650 billion out. That's what they said. But why? Like, what is the purpose of that? Why would we give money to the IMF? Nobody voted for that. We're just giving money to the IMF. And then they're going to decide when the right time is to then divvy that up. Australia gets 6 billion, you get 4 billion, you get 10 billion. Like, why? You could make the case for, a country just goes bankrupt and suddenly, there's devastation and you want to use that, okay, we're going to loan this country money for, this long period of time, let them rebuild, and then we get back to normal. You could make an argument for that. But like the example that I used, Australia getting whatever it was, 6 billion or something, that makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. All right. But that's just my rant. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs. Smash it as hard as you possibly can. It's right in this area somewhere. When you hit that thumbs up button, you have to put your hand right through the screen. That's the only way it's going to work, guys. Come on. I see people like tapping lightly. No. You have to karate chop it. Hit that, kick it, do whatever it takes. All right, Bahamas in the house. I'm telling you, you got to send me a coconut. The debt ceiling. Oh, yes. So you had Janet Yellen talking about the debt ceiling. She's, if we don't raise the debt ceiling, we're going to go bankrupt. The whole economy is going to shut down and everything's so bad. Every single time this happens over and over again. And what happens in the end? Nothing. They just raise the debt ceiling. So there's this fictional, the debt ceiling is a fictional number, really. It's really fictional because they're always suggesting that, the Congress, can only spend this much. That's true. The Congress has the power to decide what happens with the expenditures, but they just raise it every time. So they're going to pump in another few trillion, excuse me, another few trillion. What's the big deal? All right. Yeah, they already do. Yes, the federal does. They will buy ETFs. And this is really what I'll talk about. And we'll just wait for a few people to get in here. But long and short of it is that they're already doing so. They're buying the corporate bond ETFs. That's a stock. Okay, they're buying bonds, but it's a stock. Okay. And so, this is a worry of mine, of course, but people will cheer it on. 99% of people will cheer that on, despite the fact of how dangerous that is. Look at what happened to Japan. The country's buying everything. The central bank is buying everything. The number one and number two buyers of everything in that country are the pension fund. So what's that? That's the people's money. And the second thing is the central bank. Okay? Very dangerous. Very dangerous. All the real investors have left. How crazy would it be if the Fed started buying crypto, a way to transfer money out? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think even those, maybe now, different story, but just a few years ago, the government anyway was so far behind on crypto. They did not understand it. They were trying to write laws around it. They were very confused by it. And whoever was giving them advice was really bad. Was really, really bad. I mean, they're just so far behind. So I don't even know what's going to happen in that sense. But it would be interesting. When the market crash, are you asking like when will the market crash? Is that what you mean? If that's the case, I have no idea. But I could tell you right now, once they start to do this taper, if they start to increase interest rates, I mean, that's going to be significantly put them in a significantly bad position, much worse than where they are today. I think what we have here is a scenario in which they want to raise interest rates. Why? Because when you have a crisis, you have room to work with. Before the financial crisis, they had it at, I think it was 5.5% approximately. So they had that room in order to bring 5.5, they could bring it all the way to zero, and they have that large amount of room to basically, hey, let's ease. But when you're already at zero, where can you go? Well, you could bring rates into the negative. People have suggested this. Oh no, the Fed's going to bring them into negative, and yeah, it's going to prolong everything. Well, if you look at the examples of where there is negative interest rates today, that doesn't really look good because they haven't worked. Look at the central banks and their actions. ECB for one. Look at what it's done. It's actually made everything worse. They haven't admitted that, but you just look at all the data and it shows this. So what can they do? Well, they can print more money. They could absolutely print more money. And in order to keep interest rates low to begin with, you have to print money. It's called open market operations. The New York Fed has something called the desk, and that is where the money is getting printed up, where these activities take place, and that's not a secret. It's just information. It's there. It's available to you. Are you sure that China won't buy them all? I don't think based on what we see right now, who knows about the future? It seems like they're kind of weaning off the US. That's the way I see it. They're happy to buy products from them, sell products to them, this back and forth exchange. They're happy to do that. But in terms of the financial system, in terms of the reliance on doing trade with their currency and so on, they seem to be going away from that. Thank you, Steve. China will take Taiwan. Is that checkmate for America? Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that. The reason is that that can't end well. There's no way it would even be remotely okay. And I think that could easily spread. Like we're talking power outages, we're talking like all kinds of cyber things. I can't really say certain words, but cyber, things, and things get shut down and things get hacked and things get, this and that and this and that. That would be very devastating globally. I think the retaliation would be felt like literally in the same day. So when like day one, it's going to be a problem for potentially like we're talking billions of people. On what scale, I don't know, but I don't think that ends well. Is there a diplomatic resolution to the problem? Who knows? Probably both sides don't want to give anything. I mean, look at the trade deal that went. the trade deal. I love those headlines. It was funny. But that trade deal, it was such a joke. Such a joke. They couldn't even agree to that. They couldn't even agree to that. That was embarrassing. And actually, a lot of people were like, "Oh, GPS. Yeah, you're negative. They're doing a trade deal. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing for this. It's going to be amazing for that." And it never happened. In fact, the emperor of China didn't even bother coming. He didn't even bother coming to sign the document. He sent his number 2. Go sign it. Go take care of that. It's not even a document. It's not even an agreement. It's not even a trade deal. It's like on the back of a napkin. That's what it was. I mean, this was terrible, and they just wanted a show to basically say like, hey, we're collaborating here and so on. That's all it was. That's all it was. So I see them going away. Like I see China pulling away from the U.S. That's what I see on many different levels. Greetings from Austria. Best info is watching your channel since 2017. Thank you very much. And one of the things I had heard about Austria was it's become very crypto friendly. So if you're into that, or if you're unaware of it, check it out. Check it out. Thank you all for being here today. 237 people in the house and 92 likes. Hit that like button, please. Hit that like button. I have secured a deal with a graphic designer who's going to make an awesome background for me. If you saw it, I think I showed it on the live one day recently. So we agreed to some terms. It's going to take a little while for him to make it for me in like tweak it all. I had some tweaks, some ideas that I had, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So it's going to be this really cool background. If you weren't there for the previous live, just stay tuned for it. It's going to be really cool. It's going to have a little bit of activity going on in the background, a little bit of screens behind me. Really, really good stuff. Anyway, hard to explain, but really cool. I'm really excited for that. I want some cool graphics for the channel. I think it'll be really nice. Greetings and salutations. Very scary run up. Yeah, I mean, now we had 5 days in a row, if I'm not mistaken, 5 days in a row of the stock market doing poorly, just barely though, of course. But the market immediately is like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Like it's down what? Like, I don't know, less than 1% or something. It's not even like significant at all. But immediately the market starts to just lose it because they don't know what a down day is. So what happened was people bought the dip. And if you look at the charts, you see dip buying and then it gets smashed down further. And then a little bit of dip buying and it gets smashed down further. So that thing like, oh, I'm going to buy the dip. Oh, the stock market came down a little bit. I'm going to buy the dip. And like, it doesn't work every single day and all the time. Like people need to be aware of that. So I think ultimately what we have is a time frame in which people are believing that the Federal Reserve is going to be there to buy it all. But we don't know. We don't know. And I'll talk about that more in a second here. I see that there's a support for the channel. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work, money. Seems like the Fed is damned if they raise rates and damned if they don't. So they'll take the can-kicking option, inflation and stealth default. Thank you for the support, of course. And yeah, so let's talk about that right now. Got to refuel. Cheers. Okay. Let me give you what I believe is the key. People believe, not just in the financial industry, but people in general believe that the Federal Reserve is trying to prevent the markets from falling. And we have a lot of evidence to believe that that is the case. March 2020, perfect example. You look at what they say officially, that's not the case. The markets are not something that they take into account. So they say. If you look at the history of this institution, the Federal Reserve, set up in 1913 along with the IRS. So you have these two organizations being set up at the same time. Looking back at it, who was there at the meeting that decided the creation of this entity, you see who those are. You've got a Rothschild representative, JP Morgan, all the names, all the big names, okay? All the big banks today, their representative or one of the people in the family, whoever it was there at that time, at that meeting on Jekyll Island. They went there in secret, and this was supposed to be something that was hidden from the public's view. The 1913 Federal Reserve Act gets passed. This happens. Now here we are over 100 years later. If you see what happens in a crisis, the richest of the rich people are making more money and consuming more of everything than ever before. Let me give you a perfect example. Covered it in this morning's video. If you haven't seen it already, you have to watch it, okay? Bill G, you know what I'm talking about? Bill G, the guy from Microsoft, yeah. He bought a controlling stake of the Four Seasons Hotel Resort. This company, I think he put something like $10 billion into it. The hotel industry got decimated, okay, destroyed. Globally, the entire globally. So what happened here? A lot of people lost jobs. The stocks got destroyed. The businesses are weakened, no doubt, because even still, okay, things are better than they were a year ago, but there's a lot of weakness all around. Okay? But you have some people that have more wealth than ever before, and they swoop in and buy companies that they believe Four Seasons, people got money, right? They're just restricted right now. But there's money there waiting to be spent at the Four Seasons. So you're buying assets on the cheap. Let me give you another example really quickly. Geico. Warren Buffett buys it at like something like 97% down. He's assured, whether that's his own analysis or because he gets those sweetheart deals, those insider deals, he's assured that company's not going to go bankrupt. And he buys it at a 97% discount. So everybody is losing their minds. Everybody's going crazy at this time, thinking Geico's going to go bankrupt. Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, oh my goodness, Geico and all these, a million different companies, they're going to go bankrupt. The financial system's ruined permanently. Warren Buffett goes in and buys something at a 97% off sale. These kind of things happen in a crisis. So my point here is that the Federal Reserve simply turns off the tap. It collapses the stock market. Down it goes. And the institutions and the wealthy elite can buy assets on the cheap. When everybody else is scared, they go in and buy assets on the cheap. If you look at what happened with Warren Buffett, he didn't go on a buying spree even when the stock market came down 20%, 30%. Why? Because he's looking for 97% off. Do you understand? People said, Warren Buffett, he's old, he's stupid, he's finished. Warren Buffett is looking for 97% off, not for 20, not for 30. Do you see the difference here? Now, maybe he's privy to some inside information. That's not what I'm talking about. But we got to understand, through a crisis, that's when the elite make their money. So let me know what you think of that. Pop it in the comments section. This is something I will continuously discuss. But I wanted to share that with you now. And of course, if you watch my videos in the near future, you're going to hear more about that. Thank you for being here. As always, appreciate your support. China property market, Evergrande credit downgrades. Oh yeah, that's a big one. I've been touching on that in my videos. Why? Many people have been saying this is the new Lehman. Will it be? I'm not so sure, but certainly there has been this, like a lot of different companies not doing well in China. That's for sure. So we'll see. All right. So I had a realistic question. Do you see a crash soon? I admire your channel. David, you have given great insights. So like I was saying just a moment ago, the globalist elite, the richest of the rich, they make their money when the markets crash. So do you think people like those who set up the Federal Reserve in the first place have any incentive to create a crash? They don't want the stock market to go up all the time. They want periodic events where there's chaos, not 20, 30%. People thought that was enough. Yeah, maybe they could buy in and get into some stocks and get into some real estate or whatever it was. But they don't want a little sale. They want wholesale pricing. They want the good stuff. And so, yeah, I believe there is going to be a crash, of course. What type of crash and what stocks are affected the most? Who knows? Is it soon? I don't know. I have no idea. But I could tell you the middle class is going to be worse off. That's for sure. Especially because the amount of leverage. So I'm in the middle of an audiobook right now. I'll show it to you. I got the TikTok running right now on the screen. But it's something along the lines of, I just went to pick from Audible. I looked for one that was recommended. I'm trying to find mainstream financial stuff, okay? Because I'm so deep into it, okay? I'm here, look, I'm at the Federal Reserve, all right? I'm deep into this stuff. And I'm just trying to understand, so like, come back out, take it up a few levels, and what are people like looking at? What are the questions they're asking? Anyway, so this guy is basically recommending people use leveraged ETFs. He's saying it's really difficult to buy stocks, to try and buy individual stocks, to try to time the market. So, and even do like certain strategies and stuff. So basically he just says, hey, buy the ETF. But there's also something called a 2x ETF and a 3x ETF, so you can leverage up. Hey, the stock market always goes up, you can leverage it. Leverage that position over and over and over again. Do it as much as you possibly can. So that's the kind of thing that I'm very concerned about, because so many people today are over leveraged. And yeah, that works from 2009 to present. That works. But when there's devastation, it's going to put a lot of people out. It's going to put a lot of people out. No question. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for the support on that. Do I see China buying more gold? The claim is that secretly they've been buying a lot of gold, but not telling anybody, which I think is silly. I don't think that's the case. But, Jim Rickard says it's the case. He knows, obviously he knows more than I do. But I just don't think so. Like why? Like why? You know, and also the fact that they're printing an excessive amount of money. Like these governments here, they're just printing to infinity. A lot of them anyway. So, you know, who knows? Thank you, thank you. Appreciate the support. Love your channel. Keep serving those insights. Yes, insights in general, and of course the Money GPS insights, which is my favorite part of the episodes. What I'm trying to do is create I told you guys. So you got the Money GPS insights. That's in every episode. Okay, that takes me effort to put together. It's a little bit of effort anyway. So I hope you appreciate it. And at the end of the episode, each episode is going to end with tips. So you're always left with some tips to finish off the video. I'll try to squeeze it into a 1-minute segment and we just put it there. So I want like each episode to be kind of segmented off a little bit. And so it's not just like one just stream of news. Like I'd rather give you, let's say 10 articles / charts versus like 42 and be able to spend a little bit more time talking about them, because sometimes I'm just motor mouth like I am right now, motor mouth going through everything. Oh, I gotta hurry, get the next chart, because I don't want the video to go on too long. So I'd rather slow down just a little bit and be able to give a little bit more context to the information in the video. So that's my plan anyway. We'll see. All right. I use leverage ETFs to trade oil in the S&P, but never hold those ETFs long term. It is for trading. That's right, because over a long period of time, you're going to lose. You'll end up losing, right? That's the way it is. Because they're of the way it works. I agree with you. Okay. AMC. We got an AMC fan in the house. Stop losses. Yeah, the only problem, like you could encounter a problem with a stop loss during flash crashes. But yeah, you definitely want to put it, if not a hard stop loss, you want a mental stop loss. I have long-term puts closing to mid-22 expiry for almost $1 million. Premiums have screwed me already, and your videos open the door to enlighten for me. Thank you for being here. I mean, yeah, be careful. Be careful with it. We never know what's going to happen. We really do. We really don't. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm just reading through your comments here. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Should I buy silver now or wait for the crash? There's two schools of thought on that, you know, we're going to have a deflation first, all assets fall, and then you have gold, silver rising. That is definitely possible. But, you know, also it could just go right up, and then you think to yourself, I should have got in. So if it was me, I can't give you financial advice, but if it was me and I wanted to own some silver, it's already so cheap that I would buy it a little bit so that I don't feel like, hey, I lost out. But I mean, it depends on your portfolio. It depends on your situation. Where's your money right now? Do you have any debt? Like many questions anyway. Thank you for the support again. Opposite perspective, but very convincing. The Fed is their tool to artificially create crashes and concentrate the wealth. Certainly they'll use that again. I completely agree, because you see how this institution was set up, and you know, and then like just perfect example, financial crisis comes. People are devastated, okay? This is terrible. Unemployment is terrible. The food stamps, the amount of people on food stamps and unemployment and all these different things. It was the worst recession since the Great Depression, okay? And what happens? Okay, all right, so the Federal Reserve comes in, they start printing money, doing these things. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. We've never seen anything like this before. And they sit down. So after grilling all the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, all the CEOs were being grilled by Congress. How did you let this happen? And so on. They bring them in and say, how can we help this system? How can we make sure that this doesn't happen anymore? I mean, are you kidding me? Are you, was this like asking Hannibal Lecter for help, with the victims, for the victims? You don't do that. You don't do that. That is completely unacceptable. But how does that happen? How could this happen? Why? It's because every single part of the government is former Goldman Sachs, former this, former that, all the top positions. So you wonder why. You wonder why. Come on. I mean, it's so obvious what's happening. It's terrible, but people don't see it. People don't care. They don't ask those questions. And that's the thing. That's why I am so happy that you're here today, because you want the truth. You just want to know. You just want to know the truth. And that's what I am here to bring you. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Hit it. It's right here. Click it somewhere in this region. Don't forget to click that thumbs up. We have 177 thumbs up, 330 people in the house. You got to hit that button. You got to support the channel. Your advice is gold money. Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you very much for the support. I really appreciate it. Gold, that's another topic. Another topic. We can talk about that all day long. A lot of people, you got to understand about the financial industry. The real money is in the institutional investors and the central banks. What do they think about gold? I'll tell you right now, they think it's garbage. You talk to anybody, any financial advisor, wealth management, anything, they say gold is garbage. Now, as bonds deteriorate in what you're going to get in that yield, gold becomes more attractive. Because people might say, well, if I'm going to get nothing on a bond, I might as well own gold. So then it becomes a trade-off. It becomes a little bit more attractive. Instead of buying a negative yielding German bond, I'm going to buy some gold, the equivalent value. That's what some are saying. So we'll see. Susan, as always, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate that. I have so many supportive fans all over the world. It's amazing to hear from people just all over the world. Thank you. Buying long puts on big stocks. It's just, right now, I wouldn't do that. It's just too risky. We don't know. What if the market's going up for another 2 years? We really don't know. Or if it just goes sideways, what's going to happen? AMC and GME shorted to oblivion will absolutely skyrocket. I don't know. I mean, it already has, right? Hasn't it? Compare where it was a year ago to where it is today. I mean, how much can you get out of it, right? Price stability defined by the Fed is stocks going up forever. When they talk about price stability, it's really funny because it's like, what is stable? Like gold is probably the only stable thing. I mean, that's the crazy part. How do you think this week is going to go in the markets? That's a good question. In fact, let me pull this up. I haven't looked at the actual numbers. Thoughts on uranium? Yeah, if you check out my last 2 or 3 videos, I covered uranium. Check it out on YouTube, and you'll see. Evergrande, yeah, made in China. Yeah. Does Canada have companies like BlackRock that will buy up real estate? There are. I covered it in a video not that long ago, but it's not nearly to the degree that you'll see in the US, like not even close. So guys, I'm going to show you just for a few minutes. If you're on Instagram or TikTok right now, you just stick with me for a minute here. I'm going to be sharing my screen. So it'll just be for a couple minutes, but I'll talk over it so you guys can hear what I'm saying here. So I'm looking at the NASDAQ right now, and it is not even down. Like when you look, this is the weekly, but just look at this. This is the weekly chart, okay? If I can pull this, make it a little bigger. There we go. Hope you can see that. That's coming through. Like, it's not down at all. Like, this is still record highs. So this is the S&P 500. I'm showing you the NASDAQ. Looking at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones a little bit weaker. You know, you can definitely see that right there. And we're going back on the weekly. We're going back to levels you haven't seen since May, which is quite interesting. So that's showing up with the weakness there, certainly. But I mean, compare where we're at. I mean, we're sitting at this 20-day moving average. This is a point in which traders start looking at it and start salivating. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen with that in the short term. But I mean, you can pull it in the daily. Let me just see. Let me look at it. I'm just looking at the technicals. What I have here, I got the RSI, the slow stochastic, the stochastic RSI, and the MACD. And it's looking weak. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking weak for the Dow Jones. But let me just pull up the NASDAQ. Look at what happened with Apple, for instance, right? Recently, Apple, they just heard that they're not gonna be able to get all these businesses to pull, you know, for in-app purchases. You don't have to use the App Store and so on. That's going to hurt their revenue. Immediately, articles were written saying, don't worry, Apple's going to make a lot of revenue, services, don't worry, they're a service company now, everything's going to be fantastic. I get that, yeah. Okay, nobody really knows what's going to happen. What about Tesla, 736? Did Cathie Wood sell the positions to retail traders right now? You know, she sold off some, and it's been all right. This is the weekly anyway, but it's holding nicely. I mean, I don't see a point at which, you know, this is kind of business as usual for the stock market. I'm not seeing anything of significance to make me think that it's going to go necessarily up or down. Markets are very happy where they are. So they're like, are they overdue for a correction? No question. They are way overdue for a correction. And the longer they push it off for, I mean, the worse it's going to be. Straight up, the worse it's going to be. So that's about it. Thank you for the support. There's a huge dollar shortage here in South America. The Peruvian currency is in a free fall against the USD. I am hearing similar stories in Asia. Seems like 2022 we'll see some deflation. It's possible. It's interesting to note. Peru not faring too well, it seems. You know, the US dollar, there's no question about it, has so much pull globally because everything is measured, most stuff is measured in US dollar. But we got to understand versus real goods, everything's declining, everything's looking worse. But when you're in a country that doesn't use US dollar as their primary, like if you're in the US, you see it one way. But if you're outside of that, think about it, even things that are domestically created and shipped and all these things somehow can be affected by the price of the US, the value of the US dollar. It's strange, but that's the way it is. That's changing, certainly. But you know, inflation or deflation, you know, it's hard to tell. Right now, there's a lot of inflation. That's for sure. That's it. I would love deflation. I agree. Like most people, unless they're well overexposed, should love deflation. Deflation is not bad. Deflation is not a bad thing. That's the crazy part about it. It's not. They tell you that it is, but it's not. Like, what's the problem with your house price going down? Like, if you're just there, you're paying the mortgage and whatever, like, what's the big deal? Who cares? I mean, you want it to go up, but the way that we have seen the house prices go up 30%, 40%, 20%, whatever it is, depending on your area, in a year, that's ridiculous. You don't want that. As a homeowner, you don't want that, because what goes up so fast tends to come down very fast. You want it to be a nice, slow, and steady rise. That would be great, but that's not the way this works. I'm not sure if this is this a real comment. Inflation is not transitory. Michael Burry is right. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if he's right. I would love to know an update. I haven't checked on his Twitter, if he's come back and probably deleted his account again. I would like to see. I would like to know what he thinks right now. Thoughts on El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender along with other countries following their trend? Yeah, I had said that, maybe it's going to be some smaller country that starts buying Bitcoin. That would kind of be the start of it all, because now we're going beyond just the institutions buying it. Now you have actual governments buying it. I think it's small, to say the least, and the market, I think it initially reacted positively, and then I think it was kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. It's positive. And the reason I say this is we need competing currencies. Even if nobody even uses it, if it's an option, that's fantastic. Okay, I am all for any form of competition. People would say, "No, I don't like it. I hate it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to hear about it. It's garbage. Ban it. This and that." But we should say everything is welcome. Everything can be brought up. Let's do everything. Sure. If your government wants to allow competing currencies, I think they're going to find out that the market is going to decide what is best, and the people ultimately are going to decide what is best, and that's great. That's great. Michael Burry's long, Facebook, Google, short, Tesla, ARK. He is using calls and puts. If rates go up, he makes money. If not, then his Facebook calls should outprint his losses on Tesla puts. Yeah, I covered that a little while back. Showed all that. Exactly what he's doing. It's all public, of course. And we're going to see. We're going to see if he's right. Ironically, I heard on Kick Code News a gold guy saying deflation actually ends up being gold bullish, and notes that in the late 70s, inflation didn't run gold up. Yeah. There's many factors that go into it. Inflation initially helped stocks in the 70s, pushed it down later on. Inflation was stopped by increasing interest rates, and then what happens, to gold and silver, they come down as a result. I mean, not necessarily directly correlated, but at that time. I really don't know. But I read a book, I think it was either Mike Maloney's Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver, or it was The Dollar Crisis. I think it's called Dollar Crisis or Dollar Crisis 2.0 by Richard Duncan, I think his name was. And that one of those two books talked about the different cases for an inflationary period, a deflationary period, all these different things, and why gold can do well in any of these periods. Of course, trying to make the case for the book, but either one, they made the case for that as well. So who knows? Do I think gold will ever become the world's reserve currency? Not. I don't have any faith in that happening, simply because the central banks want control, and gold doesn't give them that. It's plain and simple. Land will be more marketable than the house that you bought. Yeah, especially if you got food growing. If you got food growing, people love that, especially when they're hungry. Thank you all for being here today. We got 369 people in the house. Let me know what you've been thinking about the Money GPS recently. I need to get that feedback from you guys. What have you been thinking about the changes that I've been making over the last several months? I've been trying to do them slowly make changes. Don't want to be radical. For example, shortening the introduction. Shortening that intro down to 30 seconds. I got it down to like approximately 30 seconds every day instead of where it was like at 2 minutes before. The green screen action, a little bit of that, nothing crazy. The Money GPS Insights, that's the third thing I did, Money GPS Insights. The Money GPS Live, a few days a week, doing Money GPS Lives. What else have I done? I've been trying to streamline it a little bit more and things to flow a little bit better. I don't know if you've recognized that. Let me know. What do you think? Oh yeah, I'm putting my face in the lower corner and all that stuff. What do you think about all that? Let me know in the comments. This is my chance to get that feedback from you and for you to give me feedback on what you think. I've been making these changes, like I said, slowly but surely. Trying not to rock the boat too much. I know some people were upset about it. But anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think. Love the channel. Enjoying your work. Thank you. More cowbell. I need more cowbell. You're right. Liking the Money GPS lives. Yeah. Doing great. Better and better. Thank you. I'm going to get this. There's a background that I got working, a 3D rendered background. It's going to be amazing, guys. Just wait for this. Just wait for this. Photoshop is out. Yeah. The thumbnails. Definitely. I've been loving those thumbnails. It hasn't, like, I know I'm sure it's entertaining, it's funny or whatever. The views, I don't think it hasn't done anything to the views, but I still like to do them even though it takes time or whatever. And I just think it's funny and gives people a little sense of, it's just cool, I think. Love the new format. Good stuff. Thank you. Is that Fort Knox or somewhere else? This is the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve. Don't give anyone born in 55 to 65 a cowbell. They never stop. Bring the repo back. I'm dying for some repo content. You stopped altogether. So yeah, about the repo, I check. It's around that 1 trillion, 1.1 trillion sort of region. If there's any sort of significant changes, I'm going to bring an update. I just check it before I do the video. And then if there's anything, important, I don't want to just show you the information to give you a number that's kind of the same as the number the day before. It doesn't really make sense to do so. But yeah, I'm paying attention to it. Trust me. Need more flair? Ric Flair? You're talking about Ric Flair? Is it possible to be using many currencies alongside with each other? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Why not? How's the repo legal? How's anything to do legal? But it's the reverse repo is what we're seeing today. And the reverse repo is basically, the banks go in, they park their cash at the Fed, and they get a little bit of a return from it. There's no reason for this to ever happen, in my opinion. They could say that it helps the smooth functioning of the markets. In my opinion, that's not true. But like, if there's a problem in the markets, we should feel that problem. There shouldn't be somebody there to stop every little thing. Look, if there's going to be a problem where the market has to shut down because this Lehman Brothers is going bankrupt, that's okay. You let the company go bankrupt and you deal with it instead of the Federal Reserve. No, the Federal Reserve is going to step in. The Federal Reserve is going to be there. If you're about to fall down, the Federal Reserve is going to catch you. Why? Why would you want that to happen? Why would you want the Federal Reserve to print money out of thin air, devalue your currency, and then buy stocks? Give money to Apple? Are you kidding me? What is it, $2.25 trillion market cap? And you're going to go in and you're going to give them more money? What? That's the problem. See, people don't realize this. Because the US dollar is the legal tender, it's a reserve currency, all this stuff, that they can print to devalue it. And let's say you were an individual saying, I don't like that idea. I don't like the idea that they're printing my money and devaluing the heck out of it. You know what? Instead, I'm not going to keep my cash in or anything. I'm not going to do business in. I don't want anything to do with the US dollar anymore. I'm going to use euros. I'm going to use Swiss franc. I'm going to use whatever. You can't. You're limited. Sure, you can keep those notes or whatever, yeah, okay, but you can't use it to do daily transactions with and so on. That, like, the ability to have competition in any way is always going to be positive. There could be disruptions, there could be pain, there could be problems, but in the end, it's always best because it's the most fair way. Yeah, I was on a couple times. He's gone off of this platform. I was years ago. Thank you. YouTube views on all channels I watch are down. Anyone else? I'd be interested to know. I would definitely be interested to know that. Because Ryan, how are you? Yeah, I experienced it like over the summer, especially the views were definitely lower. I didn't know if it was just me or whatever, but the fact that you're saying this, I definitely experienced that. But you let me know. You let me know what you think and what you see. No, you have to be a primary dealer to beat with this whole reverse repo nonsense. Primary dealer, who is that? We are about to find out what happened 2 years ago with the repo operations that began September 17th. You find out 2 years after the date that information becomes public. So I'm excited. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. All right. Do you think you'll ever cover crypto, or are there already too many people doing that? Like, what do you want to know exactly about crypto? Um, yeah, like what do you want to know? Like, some people, what I find gets the most hits. So if I wanted to get more viewers, basically the video would be why Bitcoin is going to rise to 100,000. I would do a lot of videos around that. I could do a video why Bitcoin is going to be 500,000, why Bitcoin is going to be this and that. I would interview people in the Bitcoin space, and we could talk about how Bitcoin is going to be at 500,000, Bitcoin is going to be a million, get tons and tons of hits. My videos that I've done on Bitcoin are poorly received. The total number of views is definitely lower, signaling to me as the creator that my subscribers don't really want to see it, at least the vast majority of them. Okay, because I've done that before. I've measured it. I've tested it. I test everything. But like, I don't know what you want to see, like, in relation to the actual crypto, like new technologies. There's not much. Like, not much has happened. Although they make it seem like a lot's going on, there's not much actively going on enough on a daily basis to talk about it. You can talk about the price action. That's a different story. But I don't think there's that much personally. I'm waiting for huge developments, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm waiting for it. Thank you. You want to cover more about the food shortages, cattle shortages, and how climate change is going to affect the world economy in a broader sense? Let's face it, it's going to be a major turning point. That's not something I really talk about, but certainly there are problems with the food supply. We know that. We know that to be the case. What happens in the near future here? It looks like it's going to be just continued shortages, and the problems will increase all the way into the early part of next year. That's what I've seen from many, many different sources. Do you like blockchain and not the Bitcoin crowd? I think, well, I'll just say this, that when you read the original Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, you read the first few lines even, you start to say that this is fantastic. Anything that goes against the financial system, great, positive, I support it. But then you look at the developments that like, what are people using crypto for today? It's all like, hey, I'm going to put my money into Ethereum because the price is going to go higher. I'm going to put my money into Bitcoin because the price is going to go higher. I just want to see this stuff being used so that we can do away with the financial system and having all the control from all these globalist elite. That's what I want. But what is getting the hits? What are people interested in? People are more interested in the price action. That's the point. It's like, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum's amazing. There's all these apps and all these stuff. Oh, it's amazing. And I want to buy it because it's going to go higher in price. There's a disconnect. There's the price and there's the actual functionality. And I did an interview with Lynn Alden, and I specifically asked this question, and she elaborated on that. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Ryan, I'm reading your comments here. Yeah, the general public. Nice. Gonna wear the Bitcoin t-shirt when I go to the bank to withdraw the rest of my cash. Yeah, that would be nice. They're probably, in many cases, they ask you the 20 questions. That's for sure. They might give you some problems, but just do what you got to do. All right. Just reading your comments. We've been going on for an hour. Everybody. 1 hour in. We've got 313 people here. Don't forget to hit that like button right down here. Where is it, everybody? I'm going to go for a little while longer. Hit that button. Mr. K-Man, how are you, sir? All right. Oh, there he is. I was looking at you on the Instagram, which I have here over here somewhere. Good stuff. Thank you for being here. If you want to check out, I just watched your video, by the way, today. Kamana Bay, looking good. If you want some videos about Cayman Islands, this is the place to go. What I think about, like, for people who are interested in this, like, for instance, what he's doing, in a sense, is fully documenting what's happening on the island of Cayman Islands. So he's going around all the different areas. He's going around and showing you different parts and pieces of the island and what's happening, updates, and so on. So you have a resource that's being there that hopefully will be there forever. It's just going to stay there, and you could always check that out and reference back. So that, to me, that's a service that we should have everywhere, wherever you live. You live in, I don't know, let's just say Manhattan, you should be doing the same thing. I wish that there's people just in every area just documenting what they're seeing around them, making people aware for tourist reasons and also just for documenting purposes, so that 5 years later you go back and, for instance, he talks about the where they're losing some of the sand on the beach because of all the development and so on. You can go back 5 years later and you say, "Where? I did a video about that. Let me check it." And you go back 5 years later and you can say, "Look at the beach. Look how it was. It's changed." And you could see that. So I think it's important. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Crypto could use an online flea market where things are traded in crypto only. There's a million potential uses, and I would love to see that. But see, because people are simply focused on the price action, they're not going to go sell their Bitcoin if they believe Bitcoin's going to double tomorrow. Why? You just bought the product that was $10. You bought it for $20 because it's going up, right? It's just like all of these NFTs and all these different things that what's happening here. A lot of that is the greater fool theory, and that, hey, I'm going to buy this cyberpunk or what, I don't know what it's called, and weird names. They buy it and then they sell it to another guy. So they buy it at $36. They sell it for $72. They sell it again for $12,000. They sell it again for $17 million. Like, it's just crazy. Why? Why is that even happening? I try to bring the truth of what's happening here. Awesome. Like, I for one appreciate it, and I would love to see that all over the world, because you know it better. Like, so I could do a video about Cayman Islands right now. I could show you some stats. I could show you the tax laws. I could show you all these different things. But boots on the ground is always the way to be. And if you're a tourist there and you're documenting what's happening as a tourist, yeah, you're not going to really get the vibe. You can have a local there, like, for instance, Indigo Traveler. If you haven't seen Indigo Traveler, I really want to do an interview with Indigo Traveler. He goes all these places that most people would stay away from. He goes in, but he always has a local. He's always got a local person there, and they take him to the spots, and they know the language and all these different things. So he's kind of being guided along the way, and yeah, that's a different story. But obviously, if you are the local and you're documenting, you know it better than anybody else. So you can give really good insight. All right. I own a renovations company here in Vancouver. I accept crypto as payment. That's awesome. That's what we need to see. Are people going to take you up on the offer? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it should be an option. It should be an option. So I love that. Uranium will run up more. Yeah, I talked about it. I think it was on yesterday's video or today's video. I can't remember. But the ETFs being set up, like physical uranium, like that's just new to the world. Being able to get in on that, and not just owning companies that are dealing with it. Now you're owning the physical side of it. It's crazy. Buy AMC shares before the squeeze. So Steven, I mean, I guess you spend time on Reddit. I don't know what's going to happen. I can tell you that right now, but I will say that there has already been a massive squeeze. Like, where was the stock at the beginning of this run up, and look where it is today. And I'm not sure, how much juice can it have? Maybe it does. What's your take on the short squeeze? I just explained that. There is already so much energy that had been pumped in there, and it could be just a bunch of people just waiting, hoping and waiting. Hopefully they give me what I need, what I want. I just think that people are they're buying into these stocks, GME, AMC, and so on, and they're waiting for an opportunity to then sell them later. Why not do swing trading with that capital? If you learn the skill of swing trading, maybe you could make, like, if it's going to take, let's say, 6 months, a year, what kind of returns could you get in 6 months to a year, instead of just waiting for something to happen where they're going to pop higher? Like, why would GME be at 1,000? Why would GME be at 2,000? What is your end target for that? You're waiting for a particular event. People say that when the market crashes, GME, AMC will rise. I'm not sure how the people on Reddit have come to that conclusion, but I don't talk about what I do personally. I don't know. So I don't know what I'm out of it. Clearly, I'm out of it. I went on Reddit 2 times, um, and saw what was happening back in January, and I had to just get out. I just had to get out. It really scared me because I don't understand that stuff. Um, so that's it. So you're talking about your Instagram notification. I got the notification that you were live only 5 minutes ago. I wonder. My thoughts are that first they send it to 20 people, and then what happens with those 20 people? Do they come in? Do they give thumbs up? Yes, no. Then might give it to another 10 people, give it to another 5. I don't think everybody gets it all at once because it would be too many notifications. That's my thoughts on it. But it's supposed to come right away as soon as you log in, as soon as I log in. The thought is that they will allow GME to AMC to rise, so it will be stimulus to the people, pacifying them. Yeah, I'm not sure. The short interest. Yeah, but like look at how far those stocks have come up. Do I prefer oatmeal or cereal? I haven't had a cereal. Oh my goodness. I don't remember. I don't remember. Uh, 20 years, maybe 20 years. I don't need. If it comes in like a box or uh, that condiments. I don't have condiments. I don't have that stuff. The only thing is like homemade hot sauce. If that's a condiment, but that's homemade. How long until we lose the reserve status? US dollar talking about here. I think that what you're seeing right now is already the decline in the reserve status. If you see the amount of US dollars being used as a reserve, it is 59% today. Many people think like reserve being just like one thing. It's either yes or no, but actually it's 59% of all reserves are the US dollar. That is by far the most, no question about it. But at the same time, it's declining. Okay, that number was much higher years prior, and it's been declining slowly over time. And now with China really, really pushing forward, you're going to see that just weaning off the U.S. dollar. So we'll see. What do you think about the corporate conglomerate going to the space business? I don't know what they're trying to do. I really don't understand it. I think that there's great ways to be making money on Earth. So I don't know what they're trying to do up there. It could be mostly just about surveillance. Anyway, that's probably what the case is. I think that they've screwed up the planet so badly, and I hope that they don't. They're going to block out the sun with the amount of ridiculous satellites that they're putting up. It's just crazy. What do I think about it? It's going to be good for business, I'm sure. When you want your there was a movie, I think it was it Matt Damon or something, where they had some sort of like a circle kind of thing, up in between the moon and the earth or something, and people lived, the rich people lived on there, and everything was so beautiful, but earth was really bad. Elysium, maybe, I think. And I wonder if that's what they're planning on, like to have like refuge for the wealthy people. Like, is that the plan? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Earth is DQ's target market. Yeah, well, I like my feet on the ground. Yeah, if you're seeing some garbage in the comment section, just block those people. Do I have to ban this guy? Just stop it. Okay, that's enough. Stop right there. If I gotta ban it, I'll ban him. It's just silly. Georgia Guidestones, yep. Yeah, years ago. I went down the rabbit hole many years ago and went really far down the rabbit hole years ago. Stuff I talked about a little bit of that stuff on the channel previously, but due to all the censorship and so on, I had to pull back from that. Yeah, is it like, where did it come from, and what does it all mean and stuff? I don't know, but those kind of things, it's not the only bit that we've seen like that. Like there's so many different things that kind of share that relatively same bit of information. So do I think that's gonna be the case? Like the globalist elite, what do they want? Yeah, that's what they want. The stuff that was in the Georgia Guidestones. So whether or not it's gonna happen, I don't know, but we'll see. Elysium, yes. That's the one. Any other taboo topics you can't talk about? I'd love to go down the rabbit hole. So what I would suggest people do is to just look into the secret societies and look into the different organizations like the CFR, like the Trilateral Commission, like the Club of Rome. Like, just look at the names of these institutions. Please don't go to the YouTube videos and look for them. There's so much, like, they tie 2 points together with nothing but like falsehoods. There's a lot of that type of information out there. They get 2 facts, and so you believe facts are there, but what connects them together is not a fact, and that's a lie. It makes the whole thing a lie. And that's what I don't like. I don't like a lot of that, and YouTube nonsense has a lot of that. So just look up the names of the people in these different organizations and then see where they are. You see, oh, wait a minute. That guy from the CFR who used to work at Goldman Sachs, who's also was at the Bilderberg Group last year, who had, I saw him talking at Davos, at the World Economic Forum 6 years ago, and now he's the Treasury Secretary. You're like, oh, okay, what the heck is going on? And you start digging up like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names, and then you say like, oh, and by the way, he was helping out Apple on working on this thing and that, and you're like, you realize this is not. Like, there's no borders. The borders are there, like, to keep the cattle in. People, like, politicians, people say, like, my government is like this, or my leader is like this, and yours is like that, and all that. They don't care. All of the stuff you see on TV has nothing to do with you. You're cattle. You're cattle. Okay? They put a tag on around your neck. They put a tag around your neck. Maybe that's one of these. Okay? Maybe that's the CCTV cameras. Maybe that's, there's a website actually I just went to. Geolocates you very precisely, and you could have your VPN on, even with your VPN on, even behind any sort of security you want, they will be able to find where you live exactly. Anyway, the point is, you bring all this stuff together and you start realizing that this is all one basic entity that has no name or face. You can't define it, but you can make those connections and piece all those dots together, and you start to realize like something else is going on here. Okay, I'm limited in what I can say, but hope you appreciate that. Anyway, we're an hour and 15 into this. I'm gonna go for another 5 more minutes or so. Ask any questions. I'm here. There's no way is that real? Is that real? Let me know if it's real. Why? Like, what? Why would somebody say that? Why is somebody saying no, it's not real. It's not real. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Yeah, in Afghanistan, the fact that they walked in 2 weeks later, they have the whole country. Weird situation. Can't talk too much about it, but yeah, 2 weeks, kind of weird. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Too much, yeah. Knows what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. Like, I can't talk. You got to understand, I can't talk about certain things. It's just simple matter of fact. VPN LOL. I don't know what why is it funny? VPN don't work. I can get around that. I don't know what that means. Right. Talking code, no, because the algorithm understands context. The algorithm actually does understand context. Certain words will flame the sensors. Yeah. Do you think that developing countries that got manufacturing that left China under the tariffs are holding plant capacity low on purpose to extort the U.S.? No. I think there was a big talk about, we're going to move to Vietnam. That was the very classic one. So let me tell you, nothing happened. Nothing. Very, very minimal change. Very minimal. Is there some additional capacity coming online out of different countries? Absolutely. But has anything fundamentally changed? No, not at all. So China is so far ahead in their logistics. It's incredible. And that's what happens when they have such a head start, because for decades, what's happening? The West gets rid of all their manufacturing and they say, China, you're going to do all the manufacturing. So they have years and years and years and years and years to do all that. They made it happen, and guess what? It's the people that basically allowed, hey, I want cheap stuff. Yeah, I don't want to pay a high price for my stuff. I don't want to pay a high price. Make it in China. So that's what they did. And even if today you think you don't get stuff in China, it's all made there. Let's be honest. And you look at the organization. If anybody knows how this works in China, so the cities it's like a game of SimCity. If you ever played that game many years ago, it's planned out in a way. If you're from this city, you manufacture plastics. If you're in this city, you manufacture electronics. If you're in so each area is like sectioned off, like it's planned, like real true planning. And they've got all these factories set up in this way, and it's so far ahead. Like nothing, like you try to get something made, and I've tried and I will continue to try. Get something made in the US or Canada. Give it a try. Give it a try. I dare you. It's impossible. I'm phoning, I'm emailing. Hey, I want this product. Can you create this product? Can you create this? I'm searching through databases. I can't find it. I can't find it. The manufacturing is gone. It's gone unless it's some sort of like a car company or something who's got the $1 billion to put into this, or Tesla who's going to get the billions of dollars of rebates. But otherwise, you're trying to make some simple goods. It's not possible. And that's sad. Yeah, so people are asking about this. I've heard about this many times. Honestly, there's so many people producing that type of content already. I think you can get the gist of it from the other people. I don't know if I can be able to provide any more of an additional value than what they are giving already. Like, I don't even like the YouTube, to be honest. Like, YouTube, sometimes they like I said, like there's two facts. They connect them with something that isn't the fact. And to me, that makes it a lie. That's what I don't like about it. But, you know, I've talked about it before. I think if you do that research on your own and you start to search through who's belonging to this group and that group, and you start to, you come to a conclusion. You will come to the conclusions yourself. And then that applies. Like, that's why when I talk about like people love the Federal Reserve. They love these guys. They love them. But they're not your friend. And that's what it comes down to. But you gotta see those things for yourself. Take the words out of my mouth. All right. Is woke. I don't know. That word I think has a bad connotation today. When is the best commodity that holds gold supply? So gold is obviously going to be great because people are worried during that time. And if you have inflation as a result of it, you could be all right. I would love personally like food and land. The only issue I have is if we see some events like we saw historically, which may not be the case, where the government comes in and basically says, yeah, you know, your land that produces agriculture, now you got to go out there and you got to feed these people. You know, they could go in and say, hey, national emergency, we're taking this, or we're instructing you to do this and that. I don't know if they're going to go to that route, but that's the concern with anything. You got a factory, you're making your trinkets, you're doing your business, you're minding your own business. And then suddenly the government says, your factory can make, I don't know, metal goods, and we need you to now do this. That's a problem. So, you know, who knows? Who knows, right? But I think that ultimately real assets, real goods, that's the type of stuff that does well in any form of crisis. When things are doing really well, you're going to have risk assets that are performing the best, whether that is cryptocurrencies or whether that is like stocks. John, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Thank you. My 40 acres supplies me alone. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm self-censoring. I am. The truth is, oh, and I'm getting choppy. I don't know if you guys can hear me. This happens when I get to the 120. I think you guys can hear me, but I'm getting choppy. Here we go. Okay, I'll end it there. Basically, yes, I'm self-censoring in a sense, but that's the deal. The people are on this platform. people are on the platform. By the way, I'm on all platforms now, but ultimately this is where the most people are. All right. Anyway, I'm frozen on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, so I'll end it there. We went an hour and 25 minutes. I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to try to do another live tomorrow, 9 p.m. if I can, Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Join me for that. And don't forget to check out tomorrow's video. I want to see all you guys watching that. If you haven't seen this morning's video, highly recommend it. I talked about uranium. I talked about all these different things that people might not be aware of, so definitely check it out. All right. Take care. See you soon.